Hello, students. Welcome to the 14th online lecture for the subject of sociology. Dear students, in this lecture, we shall be proceeding with the chapter on socialization. We have seen that socialization transforms a biological being into a social being. We have seen the development of self, the stages of socialization, and also its importance. In this lecture, we shall examine the agencies of socialization in detail. We shall learn about adult socialization and resocialization. So, let us begin now. An individual learns the culture of a society through participation in different groups and institutions. The family by itself cannot teach the child everything. There are different social groups and social contexts which can be seen as agencies of socialization. It is quite natural that the process of socialization has not been left to mere accident. Rather, it has been given an institutional framework and control through institutional channels. The agencies of socialization perform the task of transmitting the culture of society. The family, the school, the peer group, neighborhood are called socializing agents. These socializing agents are very important. This is because personalities also do not come ready made. They are molded and shaped by the agencies of socialization through the process of socialization, which is operative not only in childhood but throughout the life. The agencies of socialization are: number 1, family; number 2, peer group; number 3, school; number 4, mass media; number 5, neighborhood; and number 6, workplace. Let us now study each of these agencies in detail. The first and the most important agency of socialization is the family. The process of socialization begins for everyone in the family. Here, the role of mother is significant and also that of father. The close and intimate relationship between the mother and the child is very great. The close relationship between the mother and the child has a great impact on the shaping of child's abilities and capacities. The parents are the first persons to introduce the child to the culture of his group. The child also receives additional communication from his older brothers and sisters. Thus, we see that the family is the first and the most important agency of socialization, and the role of parents is very important. This relationship is important for the child's future. The child is passive in the beginning and is also at the receiving end. But gradually he or she becomes more active and learns to play different role through identification. The boys identify themselves more with their father and girls with their mother. Thus, family plays a very important role in primary socialization. The child learns language and other basic behavioral patterns in family. The child learns basic responsibilities and duties from parents and other family members. This learning involves positive sanctions and negative sanctions. Positive sanctions involve physical expressions like smile, and negative sanctions may involve physical punishment also. Over a period of time, the child begins to learn norms. Some rules are taught while others are learned through observation. The family also provides the child with role models. The child also learns to love and respect the members of the family and other elders. He also develops loyalty to his family. Thus, the child gets his or her first identity through the family. This gives a sense of security, which is very important for his or her mental health. The child learns to give and take. He learns basic discipline and obedience. The child learns to behave properly, habits of cleanliness, manners of eating and speech, dress codes, etc. He or she is also taught what is right and what is wrong, good or bad. Self image also develops, which is important in the development of personality. The child also learns to perform his or her own activities independently. The influence of the family is minimal at certain stages and maximum at certain stages. Nonetheless, family still remains the most important primary agency of socialization. Another primary agency of socialization is the peer group. The peer group consists of playmates and friends of the same age group. It is a group of companions of similar interest and age. They are the associates of the child in school, on playground and in street. He or she learns from these children fact and facets of culture that they have previously learned at different times from their parents. As time passes by, the peer group surpasses the parental and family groups in importance. It is true that peer culture becomes more important and effective than the parental culture in the adolescent years of the child. The advice of one's age mates sets the standard in every aspect of conduct. However, we should not assume that the process of socialization is complete till teenage is reached. On the other hand, this is the time when pressure for conformity is perhaps at its height. Personal interaction with our peers influences our behavior from how we dress to what we like and what we hate. There is greater amount of give and take as compared to the family or school. Peer groups use positive sanctions like laughing at your jokes and negative sanctions like disapproving looks or rejecting your company. It is often possible that the values transmitted by the peer group and the family may be conflicting. This is because the family transmits traditional values, whereas the peer group transmits current values. Some areas of conflicts are clothes, late nights, bikes, overnight picnics, taste in music, fast food, etc. In a modern complex society, when both parents are working, the child is often left unsupervised for a greater number of hours. In such a situation, it is natural that the child would spend greater amount of time with his friends. The peer group helps the individual to express himself freely, to get along with others and establish personal independence, cooperation, learn to sacrifice, share, and exchange things. It is in the peer group that the child is able to satisfy one's curiosities. The peer group usually offers a smoother guidance in experience, although it may become authoritarian in its demands upon its members. It provides an outlet for suppressed desires and frustrations that the youngsters experience due to parental and social restraints. These are the things from which they seek to break away and establish an independent identity. The school is a formal agency of socialization. Modern society is complex. The demands of modern society upon the individual are much more and are on the increase in the form of more knowledge, more responsibilities, and more capacity for adjustment in modern complex social structure. In such circumstances, the family and peer group are not enough to complete socialization. They cannot equip the individual with the skills or advanced knowledge that is necessary for him or her for proper adjustment in modern society. For this, the family is dependent on the school. The school is a formal organization established with specific objectives in mind, and it contributes significantly to prepare the individual for adult life by transmitting skills, knowledge, and values which are important for the physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development of children. The child spends a great number of hours per day in school. It is considered as the second home by students. It is a temple of knowledge where different subjects are taught to the students by teachers. They are taught to read, write, calculate, reason, art and craft, physical education, etc. The child learns discipline, tolerance, ambition, cooperation, self reliance in the school. The school helps students to adjust to various changes like new occupational fields. The school provides knowledge in various fields. The role of a teacher. The teachers plays their role in socialization when the child enters the school. A child, when admitted to school, enters a group quite different from his or her home. He or she ceases to be the central of attention and recognition. In the school, he or she is just one student amongst many. This makes him develop a rapport with his teacher. In this strange environment, the communication they receive from their teacher helps a lot to socialize them and slowly and gradually make them mature members of the society. In the school, the child is subjected to many rules and regulations which may not allow the child to express himself freely. Sometimes he or she is asked to take interest in activities which do not interest him at all. Some children therefore find it very difficult to adjust themselves to the school environment. However, in such cases, the teacher comes to the rescue of the child. The teacher's attitude towards the students have a great impact on the development of the child's personality. But it could be in a positive or negative way also. Students in a conventional school may uncritically absorb the culture to which their teachers give expression. Hidden curriculum also conditions their learning. Hidden curriculum refers to the things the student learn from attending the school, like respect for the system and obedience to authority. It also indicates unquestioned acceptance of the system. Thus, the teacher leads the team of students in school. The teacher consciously or unconsciously becomes the role model for his or her students. The schools use positive sanction in order to encourage the students. These positive sanctions are in the form of grades, prizes, praises, etc. The teacher can motivate a child towards good academic achievements. A teacher can thus channelize the potentials of a child in a number of ways, leading to a healthy overall development of the child. Mass media includes traditional print media like newspapers, magazines, electronic media like radio and television, and current IT enabled media and social media. It has become an integral part of our daily life today. It has an important role to play in the continuing socialization of the individual. We can judge the impact of the mass media by considering the effect of films on the masses. Young people take keen interest in films, and in various ways, films have an impact on their minds. Films provide role models, fashion, music, and a variety of experience. The mass media gives us detailed information about these things easily. These messages contain the premises, attitudes, and ideologies of our culture. Thus, the mass media also joins the parents, peer groups, and school in the socialization process. The responses of the people may differ, but it contributes in the shaping and molding of an individual. The term press implies literacy, which means that people must be able to read newspapers. But as the percentage of illiteracy is high in India, newspapers are not very effective as an agency of socialization. Audio visual impact in India is more, that is, television and films. People show keen interest in watching Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, etc. Mass media makes information available to the public. Mass media molds public opinion. It can be used by the government agencies to form public opinion, like it could be used to spread awareness of the need for controlling population, propaganda against corruption, smoking, drug addiction, etc. However, the mass media can prove to be a very good as well as bad influence on the child. On one hand, it can reinforce social values, like it can highlight values of patriotism, love, humanitarianism, religious tolerance, etc. On the other hand, it can also weaken and dilute societal values. Example, some of our films portray a lot of violence, crime, corruption, communal conflict, greed for money, alcoholism, eve teasing, etc. Thus, the mass media offers a varied experience for the child. He or she gets tremendous exposure to all kinds of society, different cultures, and thus becomes an important agency of socialization. A neighborhood is also an important agency of socialization. It is a small version of local community. It is a primary group and there is daily interaction with the neighbors. A neighborhood has shared values and behavior pattern. It has a residential boundary within which there is flow of communication and the members are interdependent functionally. Family is the basic unit of socialization, but it is embedded in the neighborhood. The neighborhood is a natural area of primary social relations. A child's first outside world is one's neighborhood when he or she sees other families like his or her own. In contact with the neighborhood, the children get chances to be familiar with a variety of festivals, ceremonies, occasions. They enjoy participation in various events, learn to cultivate tolerance and appreciate them. This is mainly because urban neighborhood is essentially heterogeneous. A child gets his playmates also from the neighborhood. During this type of interaction, sharing, cooperating, accommodating, children get socialized. Thus, a good neighborhood can help the child to get better opportunities in life and hence plays a significant role in the socialization process of an individual. The workplace is one of the significant agents of adult socialization. Such groups are largely formal agencies of socialization. In traditional societies, skills were learned through a lengthy period. The workers were involved in the production process from the beginning to the end. However, in modern societies, the worker is trained to do only certain tasks. Socialization through workplace therefore involves the acquisition of new skills, knowledge, and behavior suitable to the requirements of the job. Individual has to learn new roles by attending meetings and various training programs. A person interacts with people from different cultures, different social backgrounds, and this helps him to broaden his horizons. At the workplace, the role of employer is very important. He must orient the employees into the work pattern, oversee their performance, and guide them as team leader. In order to increase productivity at workplace and also maintain discipline, positive and negative techniques are often used at the workplace too. Positive techniques could include incentives, promotions, higher wages, etc. Negative techniques could be warnings, transfer from one place to another, deducting wages, etc. The relationship between the individual and the higher authorities is very important in the socialization process. People do not always learn what they are expected to do at their workplace. The process of socialization prepares people for their economic life. The process of socialization continues at the workplace and hence it is an important agency of socialization. Students, after having studied about the agencies of socialization, let us study the concept of re-socialization before we conclude this chapter. We all know that socialization is a lifelong process. It involves learning things continuously. An individual needs to adapt and cope with new situation and new environment by learning new things or sometimes even by unlearning. This process of unlearning old norms, roles, values, and behavioral patterns and learning new patterns is called resocialization. This is because sometimes people have to make role transitions which call for unlearning and relearning. Resocialization involves giving up one way of life for another that is not only different but also incompatible with it. Example, when an individual enters a new occupational world, resocialization takes place. Resocialization also takes place when one enters a total institution. Let us now understand the term total institution. Total institution is a term closely associated with resocialization. It was coined by Irving Goffman to refer to institutions like prisons, military, mental hospitals, and convents, which regulates all aspects of a person's life under a single authority. The total institutions are generally cut off from the rest of the society and provides for all needs of its members. A person's individuality is lost within a total institution. Example, when a person enters a prison, his clothing, jewelry, and other personal things are taken away. He feels humiliated and degraded. He loses his name and is now called as number 11 or 12 and has to adjust to new environment for which he was not prepared. He finds life very difficult there. Resocialization is thus a difficult process. One has to have strong willpower and determination to adapt to the new environment. It says that if something can be learned, it can also be unlearned. Here we come to the end of our lecture today. With this, we conclude the chapter on socialization. Thank you.